Hello everybody, it is yet again Monday, Miscellaneous Monday, on the Sulroy channel. I am the Sulroy in question. This is the Cannibal Boy, or rather, Case 00, Cannibal Boy. It's part of a long series, and is an RPG Maker horror game. Question mark. Question mark. Exclamation point. Jump scare. If you've heard his story, you have to hurry and tell someone who hasn't, or else he might just come get you. Okay. Please name your protagonist. Default, Brucey, 8-letter max. No. No. The work, partly based on a true story. Can I get a fact check on this? Hey, have you guys heard of the Cannibal Boy? Huh? Of course, it's an urban legend. Everyone's been talking about it. Jade, James, don't you two remember why we're in Jade's room with this heavy textbook on counseling psychology? Huh? I really don't. I should probably actually come up with different voices for them. Hang on a minute. Good voice for James. Why is it again? Because we need to study. We have finals tomorrow, remember? You know how strict the professor can be. Do you want to fail that course? Jade, I was only studying abroad for a year. Since when did Sulroy, that's me, become such a downer? Did he get dumped or something? Alright. What's a good voice for Jade? How should I know? Aw, come on, Sulroy. Tell us what's wrong. We promise we'll make fun of you together. Fuck. So anyway, have you heard of the Cannibal Boy or not? I have. But so what? You know the recent multiple homicides in the area? According to a friend of a friend, all the victims saw a certain boy. Then a few days later, they were gone, found dead in their rooms. I added words to that sentence. Their bodies and limbs were gone, with only the heads being left behind in a horrible grimace. Even creepier, they all had human bite marks on their necks. Why are these in quotation marks? Do you know what this means? Their heads were ripped off by the Cannibal Boy, with his teeth. What is going on with your hand, buddy? Is a boy's bite really that strong? Hey, Sulroy, what's wrong with you? You never question the logic of an urban legend. Otherwise, it's no fun. Jade, that look that you're giving is not matching the tone that you're trying to be, like, chipper with. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I've heard about it, so Well, do you know about his past? What caused him to become a bloodthirsty man-eater? Beats me. What? Are you gonna do a case conceptualization or draw his genogram or something? Why not? We get to hear an interesting urban legend and get a refresher on counseling psychology. Let James finish the story. Part 1. The Cannibal Boy. Cannibal Boy was originally just an ordinary kid who lived happily with his dad, mom, and big sister. I don't know why I read that in my normal reading voice, but we're gonna roll with it. But one day, his mom cheated on his dad. This is a really funny voice to read that part with. But one day, his mom cheated on his dad and left the family, leaving the dad to become an alcoholic, and everything changed. Whenever the dad was drunk, he did stuff to the big sister. That's unsettling. The big sister resisted desperately at first, till the dad said, "If you won't play with me, play with your little brother." I feel like there are real stories that go like this. You're his big sister, right? Decide what you want. So the sister just stopped resisting and let her dad keep abusing her? She wanted to be a martyr at such a young age, huh? How admirable. Well, that's what kids are like. Kids don't know who's responsible for things that happen. That's why some end up believing that their mother left because they were a bad kid. The big sister was exactly that type. So even though the dad's abuse got worse and worse, and all her little brother did was cry, she shuddered it all. How can a kid deal with so much abuse? Wouldn't she have run away? You don't understand. When parents don't act like parents, kids, especially ones with younger siblings, will grow up and take on the role of parents. Big sister became the mother for her brother and her dad. Besides, the way the dad abused the big sister, it's hard to say who the parent was. Yeah? Like you've seen it. I wonder if that has kind of a double meaning. Because that is a little bit of a... Like, I get it. Like, that wording, though, is specifically is weird to me. Because I feel like wouldn't the more apt wording be something more along the lines of... Like, what do you know? What are you talking about? Like, you don't know anything. You're still a kid in college. Safe. File 1. After every assault, the dad would lie on top of his sister... on top of the sister, crying his eyes out. I think I'm lost all of a sudden. Mama, don't leave me. I hate you, Mama. We should go to hell. Why? Those kinds of villains are just the worst. I bet there was something up with the dad's mama. The Cannibal Boy's grandmother, right? If you keep speculating like that, the story will never end. That's why the forces of pure evil in anime and comics are proper villains. You don't have to consider their background stories or anything. You can just blame them. Like Jade said, if the dad was a proper villain, the big sister would have had no problem blaming him, but sadly, he was not. And in addition to putting up with her dad's abuse, she had to comfort her little brother, who wasn't good for anything other than saying, "I'm sorry." Do I have to give another voice? I feel like I don't have a wide range of voices. I'm just gonna keep doing it in James's voice since he's the narrator anyway. Don't worry. I'm fine. Fine? The sister swallowed back tears. For the whole family. Tears boiled in her little body. How could she be fine? To make matters worse, even though the sister protected her little brother from the physical abuse, he couldn't escape the mental abuse. I wish I picked a better voice for this character. Fortunately for him, the little brother looked a lot like his mom. That's right, the mom who left with some other man. He looked like his mom? Oof. You want to get bullied for being a sissy? The dad prepared a lot of meat every meal and forced the brother to swallow it down. He wanted the brother to grow big and strong, not look so much like his mom. Even when the brother became scared of the sight of meat, he threw up whenever he ate it. The dad was relentless, shoving big chunks of meat into his mouth every day. Great. Dad, the more the dad abused him, the more he covered. The more he cowered. The more he cowered, the more the dad abused him. Like a curse, Dad's fears came true. Little brother did get bullied for being a sissy, and his teachers turned a blind eye. His life became a living hell. That's when he started having hallucinations. He saw apparitions that no one else could see, heard voices no one else could hear. Finally, he came to the conclusion that evil spirits were to blame for everything. That's a whole lot of words. If they were really human, they wouldn't be so mean to me. Dad, my teachers, my classmates, they must all be possessed. And this is a very naive question, but sure, we'll play along. Jeez, couldn't he have asked for help? Who could they have asked for help? The useless teachers? If you tell any of your teachers, I'll kill myself and your sister. You don't want to see your dad and your big sister die, do you? I know you're a good boy. Man, this is... I really hate this voice that I picked for James, considering the subject matter. As you can tell, the dad's quite the character. Jeez. He's such a drama queen. Haven't even got to the dramatic part yet, so don't blow your... Jeez. Alright, man. So don't blow your load early, man. One day, the little brother came home, heavy-footed as usual, and opened the door. From inside the house came the familiar smell of alcohol mixed with blood. Broken bottle, bloody knife. Dad's face stabbed to a pulp. Sister with her wrists slashed open. Little brother didn't have to read the suicide note on her desk to realize what happened. So it was too much for the big sister after all. Or maybe I should say I'm impressed that she lasted so long. That's a really morbid thing to say. When he picked up the bloody suicide note on the table. Though, what he saw was, it's your fault. It's your fault, 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 it's your fault. In an instant, something snapped inside her little brother. My sister would never write that. She'd never write anything to hurt me. It must have been, that's right, an evil spirit. Little brother's brain rewrote what happened in order to protect himself. That sounds about right. Voices he heard and the illusions he saw served to protect the little world he'd shared with his sister. The evil spirit and Dad wanted to possess my sister, but she didn't want to hurt me and wanted to free Dad. Yeah, but this is the part where the whole line of logic would have fallen apart. So she killed him and herself. But they aren't the only ones possessed by evil spirits. My teachers are. My classmates are. And so many others. I didn't read the exact words, but you just cry about it. If I don't do something to free all the people who are possessed, Won't my dad, my sister have died in vain? There's a reason for all the suffering I had to endure. So it's my turn. My turn to exorcise all these evil spirits. But I can't just leave my dad and sister behind like this. Oh. I'll pack them up and take them with me. Good thing Dad trained me to put lots and lots of meat in my belly. But it'll be a huge hassle for the police when they find all the blood, but can't figure out who the victims are. I've got to leave them. I guess this is a psychotic break. I'm playing too many of these exact types of games. I gotta leave them, the heads at least. So the Cannibal Boy packed up his dad and sister and set out on a journey to exorcise evil spirits. That's Cannibal Boy's past, and that's why only the heads of his victims are ever found. It's the last remaining shred of his conscience. James, why is your version of the story so different from the other one I heard? Huh? How does your version go? Well, when the Cannibal Boy was the little kid, his dad always locked him out on the balcony, and he would knock on the window every night, begging his dad to let him in. Once you've heard the story, you have to tell someone who doesn't know it yet, or he'll come knocking on your window at night and beg you to let him in. As soon as you open the window, he'll bite your head off and eat your whole body. Alright, now hold on a second, Jade. So now, I've heard the story of the Cannibal Boy. I have to tell someone who hasn't, or he'll come and eat me? Is that right? Yeah, is something wrong? James, you wasted time telling me the story, at the risk of failing the course. Don't tell me. Yup, you got me. How can I worry about failing some stupid course when I might get eaten tonight? I sense no flaw in your logic. Why, you... Okay. I didn't care in the slightest who the Cannibal Boy might be coming for tonight. Hey, the real problem is that you fabricated too much of that story, James. Seriously, how could you possibly know what the dad did to the Cannibal Boy and his sister at home? That is a little bit of a sick, twisted mind if you're making up so much of that. Sure, people don't just question the logic of urban legend, but you just made that stuff up. That's different. I hate that word. Why'd you say it like that, man? It's more fun to sex it up, though. I dare you to disagree. I dare. I disagree. What? Are you kidding me? I'm getting so close to my microphone in order to try and do Jade's voice. My problem is I'm trying to do her like a... Because you can kind of see it visually with her expressions. She's clearly like a more monotone, like uncaring kind of person, even though she wears this like mask of like, oh, gentle, I guess. I mean, they're all in like a child psychology sort of deal. I think you're confused, my dear. Are you honestly seeking the truth in an urban legend? They're practically made to be sexed up. Ick, brother. Gross. Stop. Okay. The essence of an urban legend is the blending of facts and lies. Cannibal Boy's past may not have been that tragic, or it could have been even more tragic. He may not actually exist. He may really come and eat Sulroy tonight. Hey. That's what an urban legend is all about. What's the fun in knowing all the facts? fair. Okay, fine. As an urban legend, it's bound to have some lies mixed in with the truth. Nothing is certain. I can't do the monotone. I can't. It's just too hard. I want to be inflexive with my voice. But there's one thing about your version that's definitely certain. And what's that? I don't know if the dad and the big sister were really possessed by evil spirits, but I'm pretty sure that it's your fault came from the sister herself. Oh? And why do you think that? People who are too scared to stand up to bullies shift the blame onto people who are nicer than themselves. So they bully nice people and cower from the bad people, which means everyone gets bullied by some bad person. It's not the work of an evil spirit. They're all just so-called nice people. Okay, we read part 1. Let's go, anime intro. So we're now officially 1/3 of the way through the game. Maybe I can, like, readjust myself real quick, mentally. I think that's our player character, who would have been named Brucey. And I've seen a little bit of some of the sequel games, because teehee, I watch Manly Badass Hero. So I know for a fact that the protag from this game is then reoccurring, considering that the default name was Brucey. And Brucey and Jade are reoccurring, kind of protagonists in the other games. By the way, have you guys ever heard of doppelgangers? Man, we are not passing this exam, huh? Huh? Of course, it's a popular urban legend. He wants to sex up the urban legend. We just talked about the Cannibal Boy. Now we're talking about doppelgangers. What's happened to studying? What about our finals? Sulroy, there's something I have to tell you. The early discussion enlightened me with a single truth. Huh? What kind of truth? If we give up on finals, then it's oh my god, then it's winter break for us starting now. Man, I don't like you. Oh really? I'm going home. Hold on. Let's take an hour break. After that, I promise we'll study. Okay? Alright, one last story. We all go down we all go down together, bitch. You realize I can hear you, right? Oh fuck, gotta change back to the voice. A doppelganger, which literally means walking double, is basically the phenomenon where you or someone else witnesses your double. I'm sure you've heard of it. Sure. Who hasn't? Okay. Then you know what happens if you ever meet your doppelganger? Your doppelganger kills you, right? Anything else? If your doppelganger dies first, you'll die under similar circumstances. Oh, so you're dead meat either way. Did you also know that doppelgangers aren't entirely fictional? I'm sure we've all come across something similar in our lives already. Know what I mean? Twins. In TV shows and comics, twins often find themselves in similar situations, right? Just like real doppelgangers. This is a stretch. Doppel. Main characters in my story. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do this for the entire narration. Main characters in my story are twins, a boy and a girl. Even though they were fraternal twins, they looked nearly identical, as if they were really doppelgangers. The little brother had feminine features, and the typical signs of puberty didn't show. If he had put on the same clothes as his twin, people would have definitely mistaken them for sisters. All too often, boys who look like girls end up getting bullied. But not in the little brother's case. His big sister was extremely protective, and if anyone was mean to her little brother, she was quick to bully that person back. You know, I have a thought. Right. I'm letting my noggin do a little jogging, and also stop doing the not quite monotone voice. Because these two characters showed up in the intro. Obviously meaning that they're like actually plot relevant. But I feel like the reason why Jade is able to like depict them in her story is because she actually has a clear image of who they are versus the Cannibal Boy story from earlier, where James does not have a clear picture of what the Cannibal Boy would actually look like. An eye for an eye, that's how the twins operated. Under his sister's protection, the little brother never felt insecure about his femininity, but he became very dependent on his big sister. Meanwhile, the big sister always needed someone to rely on her to uphold her self-esteem, and she grew to be quite passive-aggressive. If her little brother ever failed to notice something that she did for him, she would get overly frustrated and ignore him days on end. Adorable, isn't she? He he he. Jade, is this biographical? But regardless of all of that, the twins were very close, almost as if it was only the two of them in their own little world. That is, till the big sister met a certain handsome guy. Happened this past spring. Twins were both taking intro to philosophy. Why can't I say philosophy? I almost said philosophy, right? Twice. The twins were both taking intro to I almost did it 3 times. Philosophy at the time. Jeez. One day, they were discussing animal rights in class, and the professor asked whether it was okay for people to eat cats and dogs. What, is the professor a moron or something? What's there to think about? You eat an adorable fur baby today, you might as well eat a baby tomorrow. I think that's actually what Jade is getting at. Just in a less direct line of reasoning. Could you please just let me finish my story? Please? Sorry, I just really love animals. There was this handsome guy who usually sat in the corner and rarely talked. But that day he raised his hand and spoke. So he can eat chickens, pigs, cattle, but not cats or dogs? Seems awfully inconsistent to me. Hearing this argument, the little brother had a response. People don't love things equally. That's just human nature. I think that kind of inconsistency is excusable. I don't normally eat animal meat, but that's just personal choice. If a dog or a cat lover still chooses to eat other kinds of meat, I don't think that's any less consistent than my preferences. I think this dichotomy is almost a little funny looking, where it's actual child and full-grown man. Two went at it, and support was split in the class. As the class ended, the professor praised both for their well-constructed arguments. Big Sister supported her brother's argument. but she was also impressed by the handsome guy's logical persuasiveness and the articulate way he talked. What's the matter, Sulroy? You look like you're about to say something. What is it? Probably, just judging by here, it looks like more than an hour has passed. Oh, you're talking about Greta and Hans, aren't you? Greta and Hans? Who are they? James. I have to get. I need a different voice. If I play the other games of the series, I need a different voice for Jade. James, you really are something. Do you really not remember them? They were in your year, and you had classes with them. They majored in psychology as well. Greta and Jade, in particular, were very close. But, half a year ago, the two of them disappeared. What? Seriously? Jade, I thought Greta was your friend. Isn't it mean to gossip about your friend's disappearance? I missed a little, but I don't feel too bad about it. Look at how sincere my eyes are. These are the eyes. Are these the eyes of someone who gossips like that? Your eyes aren't open, so I can't actually tell. How should I know? I'm not a telepath. I can't read your mind. Precisely. Because Greta and I were so close, it makes sense that I want to figure out what really happened. Isn't that right, James? I guess. What's going on here? Even if she really knows the truth, why would she want to talk about it now? What is Jade thinking? As time went on, Hans and the handsome guy clashed in heated debates over all kinds of issues. They became rivals and best friends. When the student association planned a big event, Hans formed a group with Greta, the handsome guy, and then Greta invited me, so the four of us ended up working together. That was really fun, but also super exhausting. After a successful event, Greta suggested going to an amusement park after classes on Friday to celebrate. However, our professor suddenly decided that Hans and I were in charge of the next presentation. We needed the time to prepare, so only Greta and the handsome guy made it to the amusement park. That's where something magical happened. As soon as the two of them arrived at the park, it started drizzling romantically. She's gonna die. This is what is actually setting up. I feel it in my bones. They both had umbrellas, but they acted like they didn't and huddled under the handsome guy's umbrella together. They were suddenly so close. She just said this. She just said she didn't go. How does she know all this? Hey? Jade? Something telepath? Question mark? I just know, okay? Don't interrupt me. I'm also just gonna say I whispered this into the mic like a bit ago. Jade is definitely a telepath. Wait. What? They stayed at the amusement park until it was dark. When they finally left, there was an amazing night view all around them, and it was incredible. On a whim, Greta pulled out her phone and played her favorite song, Don't Fall for My BFF. That is a very, kitschy pop title. Fucking normie. The handsome guy said, "Wow, I love this song too." They had a great time talking about music. So they walked through the evening, humming songs together. They got so close that the backs of their hands accidentally touched. And then, they were holding hands. Man, do I have to come up with a voice on the fly? I'll just say this as if Jade is trying to, like, do the dialogue. Don't read into this too much, but are you interested in anybody in the moment? Look at her cute little cat mouth. Two? There are two. I think I might have feelings for. Really? Me too. Oh. I think I might see where this is going. Is one of them here with you right now? Yeah, it's you. That was the moment they confirmed they had feelings for each other. And I know the missing link. Oh, that's weird. Icky. Feelings is such a vague word. Greta didn't realize she had an actual crush on the handsome guy until the day she invited him and me to a movie that Hans had recommended. Oh yeah, that movie was so good. It was especially when the girl finds out that the guy she secretly loves is into her best friend. That was pretty heartbreaking. Huh? So you both seen the movie already? Oh well, I just happened to see it with a friend. Oh, that might be a different twist than I was expecting. Okay. Oh, I see. Greta recalled the handsome guy saying that there were two people he had feelings for. One was Greta, and the other one must be the one he went to the movie with. Oh no! It's the first option. It's the first option. That's how the brother decided to recommend the movie. Thinking about it, it threw Greta into a jealous fit, and that's when she realized that she'd fallen in love with the handsome guy. From that moment, she couldn't get her head out of the clouds. Greta herself thought a 20-year-old shouldn't act so love-stricken. But what could she do? She was totally obsessed. Greta went on several dates with the handsome guy. Can we please get away from Jade? I hate doing this voice. Rah! Maybe I just change it to Macho Man voice so I can have fun doing this. This is trying to do this, like, plain... Because, again, you can clearly tell it would match your personality. The problem is I can't do a monotone voice to save my life. Greta went on several dates with the handsome guy, and was always romantic. She fell more and more in love with him. Then, finally, she decided to confess her feelings. Oh. She's gonna get hit by one hell of a curveball, huh? Greta, I think we should just be friends. Oh, no. Don't say it. Don't say the quiet part. Oh, look at her cute little cat mouth. I see. You've fallen for the other person, then. She's also very, like, mousy for... I assume this is meant, like... Now that we're at this point, I assume this is, like, meant to be her adult figure. She is really kind of tiny in comparison. Sorry, I should have realized how you felt sooner. No, it's not your fault. Can you just tell me who it is? can't say exactly, but it's someone close to you. He's a freak. That's it. Sure. We should just be friends. Those words started it all. Oh, I forgot to mention. Besides listening to music, Greta loved to cook. Every time she made steak, she invited me over to her place. Saturday, after she got rejected, Greta invited me over again. Normally, we laughed and chatted through dinner, but that day, Greta didn't say a word. The atmosphere was unusually heavy. Hans was out with a friend, too. The only sounds were that of cutting and chewing meat. Uh-huh. Greta's steaks were usually cooked medium, but that day they were rare. Oh, so that's way more pink than normal. When she cut her steak, I could see bright red juice bleeding out. That is like murderous intent, I feel like. These are red flags. Hey, do you think I'm kind of an attention seeker? You did change the way you cooked steak after inviting the person you suspect the guy that you were into was into. I guess it's like some sort of vague threat. Greta finally broke the silence, but started on a disturbing topic. What's wrong? What makes you say that? You know how I told you my dad was very strict? When Hans was little, why did everything get quiet? My dad would lock him out of the balcony for every little mistake. Hans would knock on the window all night long, begging my dad to let him in. Every time, I'd let Hans back in the dead of night, but my dad always found out, and the next day beat Hans up. It was my fault. It was your dad who beat up Hans, not you. This is getting... I think this might get confusing because I'm reading this as though Jade is retelling the story, including the dialogue. But, man, I don't want to have to come up with more voices. Grr. I might as well... You know what? I'll plain read Hans and Greta's dialogue. I'll do that. I know, but if I were Hans... I'd blame my sisters meddling for making my punishment that much worse. Still can't mind my own business. It might look like I'm always doing stuff for Hans and others, but I only do it for attention. Everyone knows, but they're just too nice to say it. Whatever people think about you, if you just had minded your own business back when you broke my leg freshman year, I don't know how I would have gotten through. Sometimes I think if I hadn't broken my leg, we wouldn't be such close friends. It's kind of like destiny, don't you think? Besides, you're not a telepath. How do you know that Hans or anyone else thinks you should mind your own business? I know a certain somebody who thinks that. Or rather, who knows that. Why did you ask them? Weird that you've made reference to it twice. Sorry. You always have to make me feel better. Don't say that. We're friends, aren't we? Man, where did the music go? Hang on, configure. Oh. It's because I fidget with my headphones, and there's like a wheel. And I had it rolled all the way down, and I hadn't realized that I did that. Jeez. She always did this. That sentimental bitch. That's why we had no friends. Every time she felt insecure, she never said anything. She just pushed herself to the edge, but wanted to say still wanted everybody to notice. How could anyone stand that? But that's what made her so appealing. I love seeing Greta get riled up, and sometimes I'd invite Hans, but not her, right in front of her face, or ignore her birthday and say, "Oops, when was it again?" A few days later. You are a bad friend, I think, actually, Jade. Like that is really dickish. I wish you guys could have seen her face. Poor thing was so adorable. Yeah. That's what we'll call that. Ugh, you are such a psycho. I'm on the same page with him, for once. Oops, I got carried away. Let's get back on topic. Jade. So what's wrong? What's on your mind this time? I'm gonna save. I don't think it really matters. So far, this has been like actually strictly a visual novel. I was expecting way more RPG. Because from what I understand, most of these games are like RPG Maker horror games. But this one is actually just a visual novel. So what's wrong? What's on your mind this time? It's the handsome guy. I thought he was interested in me, so I asked him out a whole bunch of times. Turns out he didn't like me after all. Must have been so annoying hanging around him like that. I don't think... And you know what? He likes somebody else already. Yeah, your vague threat finally might be getting through to Jade here. Greta stabbed the steak hard with her knife, and red juice splattered across my face. Oops, I'm sorry. You know, maybe the monotone voice fits for this one, so I'll go back to it. Oops, I'm sorry. It's okay. You're the one who went to that movie with him, aren't you? ... I knew it. It's all your fault. Your fault, 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 your fault. I tried to follow that as best as I could, but there's too many your faults there. I know it sounds corny, but in that moment I saw murder in her eyes. In that instant, she really wanted to kill me. Just thinking about it, how many times Greta must have simulated that in her own head? How she was going to push me down from my mount. What? Try that again. How she was going to push me down, mount my struggling body, and thrust the knife into my face. Oh, that's unsettling. Jade, close your eyes. Oh, I can't. Whoa. What the fuck? I'm on his page right now. But she just stared at me for a bit, and then she put the knife down with a trembling hand, never touched me once. Why you? Why does it always have to be you? If I have problems, I'll lose the only friend... Oh, no. What am I... How did I... I'm doing this thing where, like, some of these letters right here are floating up this way. If I hate you, I'll lose the only friend who listens to my problems. It was like a bucket full of ice water thrown in my face. Felt robbed and disillusioned. You feel robbed at the fact that you didn't get the opportunity to be murdered? Okay. It had looked so promising, but Greta totally ruined the moment. You're like my dad. It's never your fault, is it? If I blame you, it's like I'm the bad guy. Perhaps to Greta, the villains in her life who weren't quite evil enough, like her dad and me, were the worst. She wanted to shift all the blame on us, but she couldn't because we weren't completely at fault. We shouldn't see each other for a while. I needed to be alone. As I listened to Greta's words, I told myself I had to be patient. Not yet. At least not now. Greta is still just a bud, but sooner or later, she'll flower and secrete her sweet nectar. What? You want to run that by me twice? What does that mean? I think Jade is trying to get Greta to kill her. After our confrontation, Greta got visibly depressed and had trouble sleeping even an hour a day. Every time she got the song "Don't Fall for My BFF" in her head, she couldn't stop the sadness from welling up inside her. That sucks. That's your favorite song. Why not me? Why her? Why don't you want my love? Why do you want hers? These thoughts continued to haunt Greta. It started and ended so quickly that Greta couldn't take it in, and now that it had ended, time was slow that Greta couldn't take it. So slow that Greta couldn't take it. Excuse me. She just wanted to go back before any of it had happened. Then, perhaps, she would only have fun memories. Meanwhile, Hans knew that something wasn't right and asked Greta what had happened, but she refused to say anything. These are really German names now I'm thinking about it, especially when compared to Jade, Brucey, and James. If you really understood me, I shouldn't have to explain. You just know what I'm going through. I guess no one in this world understands me after all. Hans didn't even know that Greta was in love. How could he have comforted her? I read comforted as confronted the first time. It's like, that's not how you want to respond to this situation. But he didn't give up. Even if Greta didn't want to tell me, I can be there for her anyway. And it worked surprisingly well. Greta, the steaks you make were delicious. Can you teach me how to cook them? I want to learn. Really? Well, of course. I'd be happy to. I went back to reading them in Jade's voice. Fucking A, man. With Hans by her side, Greta finally started feeling better. Bad. Not something bad's about to happen. Greta's heartbreak was a blessing in disguise. Greta may have been rejected, but she got much closer to her dear brother Hans. Alright, I see where this is going. Well, that's a good story, but wasn't this supposed to be an urban legend? What about the doppelgangers? Who said I was done? You really can't just diss Sulroy for blowing his load too early. Why am I catching strays? Hey, if Greta refused to say anything, how do you know she had sleeping problems? What kind of thoughts haunted her? Or what kind of interactions she had with Hans? Listen to yourself, and you accuse me of sexing my story up? James, I don't think you understand. I don't think you get it. She's not doing that. She's a telepath. Excuse me? No, Jade didn't... What? Nothing? I just don't think Jade fabricated anything. I think it's what actually happened. Wow. Sulroy, you understand me better than my own parents. What, Sulroy? You're usually such a skeptic. Has Jade put you under a spell or something? I thought that A would be her, so that's why if you heard me stutter there. Do I need to wake you up? Not sure, but I get the feeling that Jade still has a joker up her sleeve. There's no good reason for her to make up such little details. How much does she know? How does she know? What are her motives? That's the important part. One day at the end of the semester, Greta and I stayed on campus until nightfall to finish off some essays. Then we were headed home together. On the way, I could tell Greta was holding something back. It was obvious she wanted to tell me something, but she wanted to take the initiative, or she wanted me to take the initiative and ask her what was wrong. Ha, like I'll ever do that. So we kept walking on and on. Because you're a bad friend, Jade. We'd finally gotten to a park near the campus when Greta finally opened her mouth. Jade... I almost did it in Jade's voice again. I need this chapter to end. Jade, you're mad at me, aren't you? Huh? I got pissed that guy I like fell for you, even though it wasn't your fault. I'm really sorry. I was in shock. Greta was taking the initiative to make it up with me. I mean, fuck. All I wanted was to see her emotions explode. 'Cause I'm a bad friend. Man, I don't like Jade. That was okay. I still had a joker left to play. Hey, forget about it. But I think you've misunderstood, Greta. Pointed towards the park, and Greta turned her head to look. Oh my god. Did you lead her to the park so she could watch her own heart break? There was Hans nuzzled up against the handsome guy's chest, and the handsome guy's arms were around Hans's delicate shoulders. This wasn't a hug between friends. They were obviously making out. I did go to that movie with him, but just as friends. He was clear about that. The one he's really into is someone close to you. Much closer than I am. Oh, come to think of it, the last time I went to your place, wasn't Hans out with a friend? Who do you suppose that friend was? What do you think they did? Jade. Man, you are such a dick. Did they go to an amusement park with a beautiful night view? Did they make out like they're doing now? Or is it even hotter, more steamy? Hans, you. Huh? Not quite convinced yet? Fine. Just listen to the lovebirds talk then. Do I have to come up with... Oh! I'm still pretty sure that's Brucey, so I'm just going to use normal voice for him. You love that amusement park way too much. Don't you ever get tired of it? I gotta come up with a voice for this dude. What voice do we do for Hans? Man, if this is a long section, I'm gonna kick myself in the teeth for this, but never, as long as it's with you. I'm having too much fun today. Thanks for asking me out. looking down lately? I hoped it would cheer you up. Well, Greta's been in a horrible mood lately, and she won't tell me what's wrong. Oh, gee, I wonder, man, if you used your eyes. I was worried that she'd met some playboy who had been stringing her along, like this one. If anyone ever betrays Greta, I'll skin him alive and eat his flesh. Sure. Silly boy. Little do you know that the one betraying her right now is you, Hans. Ha! Playboy. Where did you hear that come? Where did that come from? I ask you out, and all you can think about is your sister. Greta will always be my number one. You're number two at best. Oh, that's cringe. That's some sister complex you've got. Did Greta spoil you when you were little? I don't know what you mean. My sister was always nice to me, yeah? Isn't Hans just the sweetest? Even during his date, all he was thinking about was Greta. But to Greta, his words only made her feel like Hans was using her to make himself look good. Like I said before, my dad used to beat me up when I was little. Greta didn't want me to be the only one to get punished, so she would always help me out. And we would get beaten up together. That's how much she cared about me. But me, all I did was cry and let Greta console me, forcing her to say she was fine. Can't blame yourself. It was all your dad's fault. No, it wasn't my dad's fault. Back when our mom was around, he was really nice. My dad's not the one to blame. It was all because of the evil spirit. Uh-oh. I'm sensing there was an inkling of truth even in James's telling of the story. The what? I knew that once I exorcised the evil spirit, my dad would be back to being nice again. Oops, did I say something weird? What I meant was my dad was possessed by the ghost of his past. So you don't mean an actual evil spirit? You had me worried there for a moment. Sorry, let's not talk about that anymore. Sorry I reminded you of such horrible memories. It's fine. Hey, by the way, Greta said she's hanging out with Jade tomorrow and won't be back until night. How about coming over in the morning? Greta taught me a secret recipe. The ultimate act of betrayal. Jade just set Hans up to get murdered too. That's the thing I think that should be most appalling in this situation, is because Jade keeps talking about, oh, I just wanted to see you like crack it a little bit and like break. Oh, buddy, no. She wants Hans to die for some reason. What a masterpiece. When I was in the lowest of my lows, you had the gall to pester me to teach you how to cook. And it wasn't even for my sake. It was to seduce him. That's what was raging through Greta's mind. I know because I heard it. Telepathy and such. Of course, I'd love to go, but I'm not a big fan of vegetarian meals. Vegetarian? Why vegetarian? Huh? I thought you were a vegetarian, Hans. What? No, I'm not. I just don't eat regular meat. But I'm not a vegetarian, silly. Oh, he's... I don't eat regular meat, huh? I get you, Hans. I get you. Run! 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 The little guy is a little nut job. But that time you criticized my argument in class, I thought you said you didn't eat meat because you're a vegetarian. Are you just a picky eater? What kind of meat do you prefer? Could it be the kind I'm thinking about? Oh, that's very naughty of you. Watch out or I'll eat you up. He means that very literally. I don't want to read that. That's weird. I'm just gonna skip past it. Yeah, screw it. I'll just read the whole thing. Ha! Somebody's a hoarding boy. Just listen to your dirty talk. What would your sister think if she heard? Oh, she did hear, and she was very angry. Then they kissed right in front of us. Wet, erotic kiss with plenty of tongue. Jade, you didn't need to add this part. Stop making me read shit. That's weird. Of course, Greta and I weren't the only ones there, but it was quite the sight. Two lovers had no idea we were there and made out passionately for a while. Grody. Be careful on your way home. Don't get eaten by the Cannibal Boy. Yo! I'm more worried about you. Do you want me to walk you home? No thanks. I can take care of myself, you know. Okay. But you be careful too. Remember, I'll be waiting tomorrow. Don't be late or you'll miss out on the meat. We're just gonna stand here for a minute and absorb this. Thought Greta might do something, but she just walked away without saying a word. Maybe she was too angry to do anything. But I could see the butt of her rage growing larger and redder. Greta was about to bloom and secrete her sweet, sweet nectar. Stop saying weird shit, please. Next morning, the handsome guy arrived at Hans's place on an empty stomach. There he found a table lined with meat dishes. Sweet and sour pork belly stew, smoked sausage, steak salad, all sorts of dishes. The main dish was Greta's special steak, cooked rare, just like that other time. Wow, what a feast. Sorry, I accidentally got too many ingredients. Considering how early in the morning you had to come, I was afraid you'd be eaten by the Cannibal Boy. Dude, this urban legend isn't consistent as to when it occurs. He's just a man-eater. No need to fear him. There are plenty of vampires in the world. They suck the blood of the poor bit by bit, just to make their own lives more luxurious. And we just look the other way. Unlike those vampires among us, at least the Cannibal Boy kills you on the spot, and when you die without suffering... Oh, and you die without suffering. If I had to choose, I'd go for the quicker death. Besides, Cannibal Boy treats humans just like any other edible animal. So many people are quick to judge cat and dog eaters when they have no problem eating chicken, pork, or beef. Compared to those animals who discriminate between animals, at least the Cannibal Boy is morally consistent. He treats all living animals equally. Uh-huh. Sounds like flawed logic to me. Really? You want to talk to me about that over brunch? Eating cats and dogs, humans, blah blah blah. James, you wouldn't feel like eating if you were there, would you? Well, I'm not a freak like them. But forget about moral consistency. closer again. I gotta do the monotone. But forget about moral consistency or abuse. In my opinion, it doesn't require complex beliefs or a tragic past for a human to eat another human. People talk about drooling over sexy bodies and refer to luscious breasts as melons. Those kinds of expressions are all over the place, don't you think? Jade, you are an absolute freak. Quit making me read weird shit like this. I know I'm blaming the character, and granted, this is... moving on. Plus, English, Chinese, Japanese all use eating-related words to refer to sex. We're so used to that kind of slang, we don't think twice about it. Perhaps it's a collective subconscious. Eating is essentially a kind of possession, kind of intimacy. Just like having sex. I don't understand how we got from point A to point B. I'm gonna be honest, it's freaking me out. Stop it. Bad. So if eating is such an instinctive thing, do we need to ask why the Cannibal Boy eats humans? Do we really need to dig into what tragic past he has? People want to fabricate past because they're convinced he's a freak and a monster. He must have a very twisted past. He's not like us normal people. Do you even hear what you're saying? What I mean is, you don't eat cats or dogs, but not because you're an animal lover or because you're civilized. It's only because you happen to live in that kind of an echo chamber. Fact check false, you see. Dogs are cute, and cats are little menaces, but like, I don't know, pigs taste good, and they get not cute really fast, and get really violent really fast, so that seems really fine. I don't know, I don't know why I'm arguing against a visual novel character. I need a new chair. This thing is squeaky creaky. Excuse me? The only reason you don't eat humans is because no one around you does. You're just afraid if you do, you'll be treated like a freak. Now let's get back to the story. The absolute diabolical character. Hans, what kind of meat is this? Does it matter? Do you not like it? I do. I like it so much. I have to know what kind of meat it is. Texture's like beef. Tastes like pork. Smells like lamb. But it's not restructured meat. Maybe a hamburger that's 70% pork and 30% lamb might taste something like this. It hasn't been ground. It's a whole piece of meat. Where did you get this? Huh? You care so much about the type of meat? You care more about the type of meat than how I cooked it. Figures. You're Greta, aren't you? Where's Hans? I don't think you want to answer that question. What happened between us doesn't concern him. Don't drag him into this. Oh, we have crossed that bridge. Really? Do I have to spell it out for you? The handsome guy looked at the bloody chunk of meat and put his fork down with a shudder. Whoa. If I hadn't played the bad guy, you know that would have been bullied like hell. Now that he's all grown up, he's seducing guys I like behind my back. Also, your sense of taste, it's really something else. There was a guy and a girl identical in every other way, and you choose the guy? Why, Hans? Why not me? Give me a reason. You murdered your brother. Dressed up like him. I'm also blaming Jade for this. You know, I'm gonna go back and retroactively say something. Say something. Because, I mean, I did skip past it. I just don't want to yell the dialogue if I can help it. Greta, I'm actually very curious why you're so convinced that you and Hans are identical, except for your sex. Handsome guy stood up and walked towards Greta. And he slowly... Oh, wait. This is Jade. Handsome guy stood up and walked towards Greta. He slowly gripped Greta's shoulders. His fingertip sank deeper into Greta's flesh, causing her face to contort in pain. That doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is that you and Hans are twins. So what? So what if we're twins? Nothing much. Just that you be as delicious as Hans, I'm sure. He sussed it out real quick, huh? After that, Greta and Hans went missing. What? They weren't dead. They both bloomed with wild abandon before withering in vain, frozen in their most beautiful moments. Jade, you are a absolute lunatic. All it took was a simple push for a normal person like Greta to murder somebody and feed the flesh to somebody else. And at that table, she was a cannibal boy, too. Greta proved that. She'll live forever in my heart. Jade? You, me, the handsome guy right here, we're all the same humans. Oh, all the same. Humans are all birds of the feather. Consistent beliefs, tragic past, none of that is necessary. Anyone can turn into an evil spirit. Also, that did confirm that the protagonist, Brucey, is the person who was with Hans. I want to stand up for the rest of this because I feel like I'm creaking in my chair every other second. Anyway, I'm sorry. I spent way too much time on an urban legend. Hope you enjoyed it. That was not an urban legend, Jade. You just exposed the fact, first and foremost, that your college best friend that you pushed intentionally over the edge murdered her brother and was eaten by the other guy in the room. Jeez. Hans was slaughtered by his doppelganger. Greta died the same way as her doppelganger. They're both worthy of being called doppelgangers, don't you think? Bullshit. That's not what a doppelganger is. Jesus brought up that topic as a way to give away what happened. What does she want? Does she want to blackmail me? Or see my reaction? Or does she just want to prove her pet theory that everyone's insane? And how does she know everything about Greta and Hans? By stalking them? Spying? Or maybe she hacked into their devices? Jade, why did you just tell us this urban legend? Oh, come on. You of all people should know, Sulroy. Hey, what the hell is going on? Hey, that studying thing doesn't sound too bad right now, does it? You two plotting to scare me or something? Is that why we're gathered in Jade's room? I think I understand why Jade said her eyes were sincere. They're the eyes of a writer evaluating her work. Even Jade herself is a jester made to dance in her script. So now, James, I've told our urban legends. Shouldn't you tell one too? Didn't he start? Oh, or is he saying that James and I shared the... hear the story of the Cannibal Boy, and you don't want him to come knocking, you have to tell the story of his past to someone who doesn't know yet, right? What the hell, man? Why are you asking me this now? Giggle. What's so funny, Sulroy? Ridiculous. There's no past worth talking about. You civilized people eat plenty of animals. But you point at people who eat cats and dogs and call them savages? Makes me sick. If you can't eat some, don't eat any. If you want to eat some, then eat them all. Is it that hard? Is it really that hard to be consistent? That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. Stop that, Sulroy. You've got to leave him some hope. Just look at James's face. Can't you see it's filled with despair? How's the climax gonna happen now? This is weird. Do you realize what a nuisance it is when too many people find out what I like to eat? I always set an annual limit for myself, but I guess I'm going to go over that this year. I guess I should reward Jade's enthusiasm with an urban legend of my own. But I really don't like to conjure things up, so I'll just let James here experience it firsthand. Hi there, Brucey. That's the game. I don't think I have words right now for this. Like I said, I was actually expecting a lot more RPG. I gotta work on my voices too, for that matter, but... If you want to see more of this for Miscellaneous Monday, and I hope you do, because I actually do have the entirety of this series, might as well join me. See you around.